Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Tesla Talks podcast. It's me and Franklin and Earl, Frunk Puppy Earl. He's supposed to join us, but he's either something's come up or he's running behind. So if he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, we'll get him on next week or later. Welcome to the show, Franklin. Thanks for stopping in.
No, I'm not Earl now.
You're not Earl, so I can't call you Franklin. I got to call you not Earl.
Correct,
for anyone listening at home and not watching on YouTube. Franklin is not Franklin anymore. He's not Earl now. Him and Earl go back and forth with this bantering back all the time on Twitter. So this is probably just another one of those things. So,
and if you're only doing the visual, if you're only doing the audio, not the visual, I have dogs popping up everywhere.
Yes, he does. So
make sure to check out Earl on Twitter at 28 delays later. So shout out to him, even though he couldn't make it. Still shouting him out because we're that nice.
It's too bad if he doesn't make it. Too bad if you're listening to this or you're watching this and all of a sudden you see or you hear a different voice or you see a different person pop in. That's Earl, and Earl's going to join us. And he was here on the show once before, and he was lots of fun, very informative, very funny guy, and we have a fun time with Earl. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for watching and listening, taking time out of your busy schedule. I get it, and it's a Friday night. We already have a few people in the chat watching us live on YouTube. If you can ever watch us live, we usually do it midweek, the show, like a Tuesday or Wednesday. But what did we do? We did it, last week we did it Tuesday. We did it in the middle of the daytime. So that was a experimental little odd thing. Worked out good. We had Drew from Telos of EV on, and now that was fun. Tonight, it's a Friday night, and because it's December and it's cold and there's nowhere to really go, I figured let's try it on a Friday night. I guess it's a special time. We've never had it before on a Friday, so we'll give it a go, see how it is. So if you guys like this time better, let me know in the comments below, or shoot me an email at teslatalksquestions@gmail.com. That's where you can correspond to me, or you can get a hold of me on any of the social media platforms at Tesla Talks, which we'll talk about later tonight. As we have
a comment. They said they don't like this time. Okay.
No, we don't have a comment saying that.
100% we do.
That's from you? They say they don't like the time that they're here. But anyways, we've got some news. It's been would you, Franklin, would you consider it a slow news week for Tesla?
No. Yes and no. I mean, the stocks have been on fire this week.
I was gonna say the stock. I mean, is that even news anymore? Like, I mean,
there was a chart actually. Hold on. Fill like 2 minutes of airtime. Let me pull it up.
Okay, he's gonna find something, I guess, stock related. But yeah, no, the stock has been doing good this week. On a climb again. It dipped a little bit, I think, one of the days this week, but it's on a climb. I just saw this yesterday or today. Goldman Sachs, I think that's how you pronounce it, Goldman Sachs. That I don't even know what it's a firm, or I'm not a stock guy, so please don't take any stock advice from me. But and the terminology, I may not get it right. They were there was an article, I think it was on Electric, which this is one of our stories, but they were saying that now that they're involved in Tesla and they're one of these newfound Tesla believers, because I don't think they would believe them before when all the shorts were out and they weren't doing too well, but now they believe in them. Now they're saying for 2021 they predict Tesla to do, what was it? Did you see that article that I'm talking about, Franklin? Something like 20. I want to say they said 20 million deliveries or 20 million production vehicles next year. Like they just completely blew whatever they're really going to do compared to what they think they're going to do. And obviously they're trying to affect the stock, right? And apparently it's legal for them. But when Elon gets on Twitter and says something and makes a joke, then it's illegal and he gets fined. But these guys can do it just to pad their pockets a little bit. And it just goes to show you, like I've always said before, the stock market and the analysts and all these guys that are involved in the stock market, they don't understand Tesla. They think it's a regular automobile company and it's got to behave like how everyone else behaves and everything. And it just goes to show they don't understand Tesla at all, because to think that they're going to do 20 million, I'd love for them to do 20 million. Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of factories coming online next year. No, next year, but they're not going to do 20. Will they do 1 million? deliveries next year with the other
1 million for sure.
Yeah, I think they will, but not 20 million.
No. 1 million is reasonable. Even 2 million is like possible.
Yeah.
But up 20 just like way too high of a number.
No, it's just goes to show you that they have no idea. I mean, yeah, we've got Berlin coming on with the Y. We have Shanghai starting up their Y plant and everything. And maybe the tail end of the year, they're saying that Texas is going to get up and running, but that'll just be a trickle. So, yeah, they will increase, and hopefully we don't have any pandemic or any other delays to slow them down. Maybe it'll be all what was it, full steam ahead type of thing. That's the terminology I was looking for. So hopefully they'll do good. So yeah, 1 million, I can see it happening. But anyways, you were going to show us something?
Yeah, so I have this graph up. You should be able to see it. So yeah, you definitely can. The black line is Tesla, and that is market capitalization from 2011 to 2021, because I mean we're close enough there.
Oh wow!
And you can kind of see Tesla was at the bottom there, 2013 or 2011, all the way to 2018. Then it starts getting in the mix with the other companies on the chart, and somewhere in 2020, it just skyrocketed by a lot.
Yeah, you can certainly see where the beginning of 2020, where the pandemic affected them and the shutdown, the Fremont shutdown affected them.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy to see it in perspective like this, and the crazy part is by worldwide annual sales. So Toyota, 10.6 million, Tesla, 375,000. The rest on this list are 2.5 million, 5.3 million, 2.4 million, and 10.9 million. So there's, like, we're talking in the millions, and then there's Tesla with under half a million annual sales, right?
Okay, so these are annual sales.
Well, it's market capitalization, right? So
okay, which I don't get. Yeah, I get you. I get you that I don't get.
So it's incredible. Like Tesla's growth, it's insane. So
good to see some people in the chat room saying, "Yeah, bad time," but they're there. That's funny. That's Dan, and Darren are in, and they're. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. You know what, Franklin? Before we get to the news, I've got to tell you, I liked your background and the dogs popping up and down. Probably for the first 3 or 4 minutes, it's getting very distracting now. I gotta say. There you go.
Dax doesn't like dogs.
No.
Wait till I clip up this portion and share it on Twitter for Earl.
I know. Then he'll never be on the show again.
Nope.
Yeah, I can see that. But anyways, like I was saying, all the factories coming online next year, and the one that is still up in the air that they'll probably come online, but whether we'll see any production out of them is we still waits to be seen. And that's our first story of the week, the Cybertruck. Now, there's rumors that it may be delayed, and that rumor, that's our first, like I said, first story from Inside EVs. Where this rumor came from is they sent out some emails to, and here's the thing, they only sent it out to a certain amount of people. They didn't send it out to everyone. I know I didn't get one. With your 16 Cybertrucks that you have on reservation, Franklin, did you get any emails?
Nope.
Okay, so I didn't get one. I don't know anyone that got one. So only a handful of people got emails. And what the email was saying is basically saying, you know what, it's going to be a while. I'm paraphrasing here, just to sum it up. Basically, the email said, it's going to be a while till you get your Cybertruck order. Do you want to maybe look at a 3 or a Y in the meantime, like leasing it? And then by the time you're out of your lease, at least we got you in a Tesla. And by the time you're out of the lease, your order should be, or your reservation should be up and ready to order. So from that email, I think there was a lot of speculation that, and I think somewhere in there they said the production, I should scroll down and read it. Somewhere in there they said the production would be now 2022. So I think that's what a lot of people went on, and they assume now it's going to be delayed. There's not going to be any deliveries. I still think, and you tell me what you think, people in the chat and Franklin, I still think they will. Once again, I think they're sandbagging this. I think obviously it's year end. They're trying to get sales. It's the fourth quarter push, or just like every quarter push, but especially year end push. I guess they're trying to get sales. I get it, right? And they're doing everything they can. They're pulling all that tricks out of the up there from however the saying goes. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying. Yeah. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Do I think that there's not going to be any deliveries next year from Austin? No, there will be some. I'm quite sure of it. I mean, a lot of that is me hoping, but I'm pretty sure they will. Will there be tons? Will there be like 20,000 Cybertrucks? No, probably not. But they will start. Like here's the thing. For them to stay on target and to stay on track of what they're saying now and what they've been saying since the launch last year, they said, correct me if I'm wrong, they said deliveries start at the end of 2021, right? Or late 2021, something to that effect. Don't quote me on that. But so really all they need to do is deliver one car or one truck on December 31st to somebody's house to fulfill that.
So I imagine it's going to be a lot like the Model 3, where what were they making at the Model 3 the first 2 months, 5 a week?
Yeah, they were trickling out. Yeah, because it's a beginning. I wouldn't even call it a ramp. I'd call it a beginning of a ramp.
And I think going back to your initial question, I'm pretty sure all the Canadians didn't get emails because we already knew that ours was going to be delayed, right? That was just expected. So. But I think it's smart in their perspective because if you think if the Cybertruck is 2-3 years out, it makes a lot of sense to get existing people that don't have Teslas into leases or whatever it may be to start getting into Teslas today, right? So it's a good tactic to actually increase potential sales and people driving Teslas with very little effort. Because there's people already interested in a Tesla because they have a pre-order on a Cybertruck, right? So they're basically saying, hey, you're going to be waiting this a couple of years anyway. Why not just get in a Tesla today, right, while you're waiting? So I think it's clever marketing, and people are going to say, oh, no, they don't market. But yeah, it is clever marketing, right?
Yeah, it is clever. And I totally get it. It makes sense, right? I mean, I want to think that the people that got those emails might have been the people that have made reservations within the last few months, and they're way down on the list in terms of order. Now, you know what I think of Tesla's order for reservations, but if they were to stay true with that order and that sequence and chronologically, yeah, maybe they sent emails out to those people. But hey, listen, I know somebody that just ordered a Cybertruck 3 weeks ago. Do you know who that person is for Franklin? and I didn't hear of myself getting an email. No. Yeah. So that may throw the theory right out the window. But like you said, it may be a matter of just Americans and Canadians.
Yeah, that's what I think. Truthfully.
Yeah, I don't think there's the sky is falling, anything to worry about. I still think, and once again, like I said, Tesla is constantly lately sandbagging their times and their performance and stuff like that. They're under promising and over delivering. So I still think they're using that tactic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%, and it makes sense. There's not much more to say. I kind of agree with everything you're saying, and it kind of is what it is, right? Yeah,
Canadian drone pilot in the chat saying he's buying he or she, I'm assuming it's a he, I shouldn't, but buying a Model Y next year, and he has a reservation for a Cybertruck. They've got no email either. So
yeah, it
is a he. No, it still could be a she, because at the end it says, my wife thinks I'm crazy. So you know what? Could be either. Okay, so that's.
I mean, that was it was. It's disappointing that they did that. What I'm most curious about is it's been 1 month. So about a month ago, Elon, month and a couple of days if you're counting, Elon said on Twitter that we'd get updates about the Cybertruck and the changes that they've made.
Yes.
So I actually tweeted about that today, and Elon, where's our update? It's been over a month.
Yeah, I was thinking of it a few days ago, and I tweeted it out, and a bunch of people retweeted it on my behalf, but nothing. I'm not one of these guys where I wait for Elon to tweet and then bombard him with questions.
People do that.
Not to say anything's wrong with that. I'm not on Twitter often enough to do that. So whenever I'm on Twitter and I think of a question, I just throw it out there. And I know he's probably in the air. He's probably in the middle of an interview. Who knows what he's doing? So not to say he'll ever see it.
Yeah, I can't believe people bombard him with questions. It's unbelievable.
You're crazy, buddy. Moving right along, another story from Inside EVs, our second news topic of the week. Tesla's now providing the repair manuals and service manuals and stuff like that free for everyone. They're just putting it out there. Now, it's for all their models. Now, Tesla's always said there's no, they're willing to share their technology and there's nothing proprietary to anything like that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is this something that a lot of other car manufacturers do? I don't know.
As far as I know, a lot of them do it.
Yeah.
It is good that they're doing this finally because it'll help independent people to repair Teslas, right? Yeah.
Now it goes back to that right to repair thing that's big down in the States. I don't know about here in Canada if it's a big thing or a controversy here, but yeah, our friend that was on the podcast about a month or two ago, Cyril, he does it, right? And I mean, he doesn't need the service manuals because he used to be a service technician anyway, so he's got the knowledge and the schooling and everything like that. But for ongoing training, like the new stuff with the Y and the new stuff with the Cybertruck when it comes out, he wouldn't know anything about that because he's not with the company anymore. So this will be valuable to him. Like he'll be able to do more stuff with the cars and keep up to date. I think it's great. By the way, this whole article that and other publications have talked about this today, and I think it was today and yesterday, all came up from Green, the only on Twitter. He's the one that started tweeting about this. Long, I think he had like 6 or 7 tweet page on it, and very, very useful information in there. So thanks to him for bringing this to everyone's attention.
I feel like this is something that they've had in the works for a while, and the reason why I say that, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I had access to all this information prior, like a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago.
Oh yeah,
I've always had the service centers have, and the way that they had it prior was kind of a mess. So I feel like they kind of cleaned it all out, recoded it all, made it a really nice, good user interface, and then kind of released it. So it's kind of like, hey, we want to do this, but we have to sort through and organize all our data to be able to do it. At least from the version that I had, which might have been a little bit old, but nonetheless, it's drastically different now. So
yeah. No, it's at the end of the day, you were cutting up a little bit there, your connection there and your audio, but I got the gist of what you were saying. At the end of the day, it's a win-win for the consumer, basically the consumer, the owners of the cars, but also like the industry and Tesla. Like I think I can't say anyone loses. Yeah, will Tesla lose a little bit of money in their service centers for people not taking it to the service? Yes, but at the end of the day, is it really going to affect their overall I'm drawing a blank here. Yeah. At the end of the year.
I don't know if it was you freezing or me, by the way, because you were frozen on my screen for a while.
Oh, was I? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah.
Anyway,
It very well could be me. I apologize if it's me. If guys in the chat room, let me know if you're getting me fine or if you're getting Franklin fine.
Yeah, I asked him.
You did.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add? Because we do have a question, which is different, but if you want to add anything else, feel free.
No. Let's get to the question. If folks, I forgot to say this on the outset of the podcast. If you haven't been on before and you're new here, if you have any questions, put it down in the chat if you're if obviously I'm saying this if you're watching live. Put it down in the chat. We will get to it. We may not get to it instantly the minute you type it out, but after we finish our train of thought or we finish that topic we're on, Franklin's monitoring the chat room feverishly, and he'll get to your questions. And yeah, we'll pause like we're doing now in between stories, and we'll get to your answer. We've got some questions coming up at the end of the show that we tend to like to group them all towards. But if you take the time and trouble coming onto the podcast and in the chat room and asking your question, yeah, we'll try to get it on as soon as we can, just so in case you have to leave and you don't want to miss your answer. So we'll get on. What's the question?
All right. Do you guys think Tesla may phase out the Model X, or the sales are still strong enough since the Model Y release? Cheers from Waterloo, Ontario. Thanks, Rich.
Waterloo Rich. Oh, now we can put a name to your what's the name? The internet name? What's the term? Okay, so what do you think, Franklin?
I think no. Elon's actually commented on this, and I think he commented on the S, but I can't imagine the X being any different. Or maybe he did on the X. He basically said at the time that the sales might not be super strong, but he wants to keep them running because those are projects that help Tesla get to where they are. And specifically the Model X, the amount of engineering that went into that car from every perspective imaginable, that's the most over-engineered vehicle you can buy today, and still is.
Yeah.
I just can't see them scrapping all the tech and all the like. The Model X is insane from an engineering perspective, so I can't see them scrapping all that that quickly just because the Y is out. So I feel like the X will still be in production for a lot longer.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too. I mean, exactly what you said. I mean, the fact that they've put a lot of engineering time and energy in, and how old is the car? 3-4 years old now. So for it to maybe a little older,
maybe a little
2016, didn't it come out in 2016? Am I correct in thinking that?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Whenever it came out, but even the couple years in prototyping and designing and stuff like that, it's even longer. So to have that car only have a shelf life of 4 or 5 years, I don't know. Yeah, exactly like you. I think it would be a waste. It's such a nice car. Yeah, it's was plagued with its problems at the beginning and stuff like that, but it should be fine now. I don't think there's anything to worry about. It's tested, it's proven, and it's a little pricey, and maybe that's why some people, and maybe obviously that's why the sales are not as good as they used to be. And also now with the Y, I mean, honestly, if I had to buy one, even after the refresh, because there will be a refresh of the S and the X, I don't care how well they refresh it. The Y is still probably a nicer car. This is obviously me saying this before I've seen it, so it's a little ignorant for me to say this. But in terms of price points and everything, the Y appeals to a lot more people, and you'll find a lot more people going towards the Y.
It's unfortunate Earl can be here tonight.
Yeah, no, it is.
He has an X.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he got an X.
Oh, I didn't know he had an X. Oh, I thought he had a 3. Why did I think he had a 3?
If you were on Twitter for the 2 weeks after he bought the Model X, you would have seen one of those 15,000 tweets.
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I probably know he has it as an X, but for some silly reason, I just have it in my head that everyone on Twitter has or everyone online has a 3 for some reason, because they're just so, they're so prevalent. So it's my ignorance.
Yeah. Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, what do we got? We got speaking of the Model Y.
Yeah, this, I don't know what it is. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, this question has come up so many times. And then it came up, when I say so many times, it's come up in different things, but especially in my Facebook groups, especially in the Y group, but it also came up in my Model 3 Facebook group too, numerous times talking about it. And the rumor is it's going to have, they're saying it's going to be in the, what's it called? The holiday update. And they're just going to turn it on for everyone in the holiday update. But anyways, everyone's wondering if their car has it, if any cars are going to have it, any of the Ys are going to have it. And it's just like some people are saying what this is an article. Let me just take a step back. This is an article by Drive Tesla Canada talking about the Model Y. Does it have a heated steering wheel or not? And in the article, it talks about the source code. It says it does and everything like that. But on Facebook, it got into a heated debate this week. I think our buddy Trevor Page posted something about it. Whether it has one or not, you don't need it. He was trying to help people out, saying, you know what, you don't need one. When you preheat your car, if you turn the vents to a certain angle to hit the steering wheel, which I do too all the time, and it works great, you don't really need it. And that just started up a crap storm of people whining and complaining. And I hate to say it, I love all my members and I love all the Tesla community, but we are sometimes, and I'm guilty for it too. I text you off air during the week, Franklin and some of my other friends, and you can vouch that I get whiny sometimes too, right? So we're all guilty of being Tesla first world problem whiners at times. But the amount of complaints saying, I bought this luxury car, I expect a heated steering wheel. Oh, it was unreal. I know you're not on Facebook, Franklin, but it was pretty heated. And my point was, I was just telling people, you know what? I've had this car for almost 3 winters, and some of those times, some of those days were freezing cold. We're talking minus 30, minus 40 in the middle of the night or very first thing in the morning. And I've never got in my car after I've preheated, because you should preheat. I don't care what you say. I mean, comfort is one thing, and that's what we're talking in this case. But just for the good of the battery and the efficiency and everything like that, it's always good to preheat, right? And that's a debate in itself. I get it.
Never mind the battery, but you know how nice it is going out to your car where there's a massive snowfall and everyone's getting out of work at the same time, and you go to your car where it's completely empty. There's no snow on your car, yet all your coworkers' cars are filled with it because you're able to preheat like an hour before, and your car's like, they're out there with brushes and stuff, like just jump in and drive away. It's great.
Exactly, buddy. Exactly. Now, I still, you know what I was going to say, I very seldom have to brush off my windows and stuff like that, but I'll still do the hood and the trunk and stuff like that, because we don't have ice cars, so the snow doesn't melt off the hood. But yeah, it's what I'm trying to say. It's convenient, but it's also a comfort level too, right? So I do it all the time. And like what I was saying, getting back to my point, is in 3 winters, I've never got into my car and thought, oh, the steering wheel's cold or frozen. And I'll be the first to admit, I am a fair weather person. I don't like the cold at all. I've been living in Ontario my entire life, but that said, I still don't like the cold. I hate it. That's why I got a car that I could preheat. One of the huge benefits and the main reasons I got this, right? And I love it. If I had an ice car, I'd probably have a starter for sure on my car, my primary car, so I wouldn't have to get into a cold car. So I just said that, and that opened up a whole can of worms. People saying, oh, you don't have to preheat. You shouldn't have to preheat a car just to have a warm steering wheel. And then somebody else said they had arthritis. And I get that. If it's a medical thing, I totally respect that and I understand. If it's a medical thing, yeah, I get it.
Here's the biggest problem, okay? So I purchased my car for X number of dollars. I agreed to that price with the feature set that my car was going to give me at the time of my purchase. My car never had a heated steering wheel when I purchased it. And I agreed to purchase it because I was happy with what they gave me. If I wasn't happy with what they gave me, I could have said, hey, no, I'm not going to pay this much because it doesn't have a heated steering wheel. So I shouldn't be entitled to an upgrade if I already agreed to the car that I purchased at my given time, which was 2.5 years ago, or coming up to 3 years ago. So it doesn't make sense for Tesla's perspective to lose out on all this money. I'd love to have a heated steering wheel as well, trust me. But it doesn't make sense from Tesla's perspective to lose out on money upgrading everybody just because some people are complaining, right?
Oh, I completely agree. And one of the comments in the chat here by a friend of mine named Mags. Mags is one of our moderators, hardworking moderators. The moderators I have in my Model 3 group are awesome. So I appreciate every single thing they do. I couldn't do this. I think we're up to like 6,000 or 7,000 members now in the group, and I obviously couldn't do it by myself. So thanks to them. And yeah, she was saying that it was a funny and awesome debate that they were having about it. But going back to the steering wheel itself and everything like that, more than likely it will. Paul, our friend Paul, Tesla Canuck, he just got his last week, right?
And I started this petition.
You did. We read our mind, each other's mind, buddy. Like, this wasn't even arranged. Like, I was going to talk about it and I was going to lead into that, but I didn't know you had pulled up that screen and everything. That's
I was working on it in the meantime. So Paul just got his Model Y, and he posted on Twitter. He clicked a little trigger for the voice. He said, "Heat my steering wheel," and it popped up and said, "No, it can't." Tesla uses a standardized voice system, so what you ask on one car, it's going to do on all of them, so it makes no difference. But nonetheless, I started this change.org petition for Tesla Canuck to check for a heated steering wheel by cutting into the wheel itself to see if it has heating cables or heating coils or whatever it may be. So just something a little fun that I did, and there's actually 5 supporters out of the 69 that we were looking for. So. Yeah,
all we need to get is 100. Because you know what? I mean, this is what we want to do before we start the GoFundMe campaign, because steering wheels aren't cheap. And he's going to obviously have to replace it. And what we were suggesting is just take a little X-Acto knife and just cut the steering wheel. I can't even say with a straight face. Let's move on. No, we're not advising anyone to cut their steering wheel. I mean, you'll know soon enough. This is the fall. This is the winter season. I mean, no, not the winter. The holiday season, and Elon promises the holiday update. We're gonna know when we get that update. I'm quite sure of it.
Full disclosure: Tesla Canuck's a good friend of ours, so we're just joking around with them.
Yes,
having a good time. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah, we told them don't. If you do it, don't puncture the airbag, else you'll get in for a big surprise. And it's more money.
You want to talk about update that's happened, 48.5?
Speaking of which, now I don't. Usually when we start talking about updates, Franklin, on this podcast, you already have it. Have you got this one already?
No.
Oh, wow, you haven't got it. Let me check my phone as we're talking, because also sometimes, no, I don't have it either. Sometimes on these podcasts, we're doing the podcast live, and lo and behold, I have the update. But anyways, I just got an update a few days ago, and I mistaken it. I actually thought it was this one. I got 4525, and the one with the new features out now, just a handful of people, from what I understand, have it, is 2020.48.5. And that's a new update. It's got a few little things on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Franklin. It's got a new layout of how your text messages come in on the new text message feature. It comes in almost threaded, where you can see how it looks. And it's a nice layout. Somebody here, if you're watching at home or on the video,
KKBR is actually the one who posted it.
Yeah, he did a good post here, and he shows how it looks, and it sort of just chronologically just lines it up. It looks a lot nicer, in my opinion. Could this be one of the things that Elon was saying? I almost said Franklin. I'm confusing you with Elon, Franklin.
Actually, now that you say that, in one of my recent YouTube videos, someone commented and said I sound like Elon.
No, you don't.
And me and Elon in the same room, so.
Just saying, eh? Yeah. I love how you're outing yourself. that would never happen. So anyways, we're going through this really fast. So so in this update, I like the layout, and I like how this is what we're getting. And when Elon was saying, he was teasing that holiday update with his tweet last week or the week before, he was saying some things you've been asking for and some things that you haven't asked for. Well, I don't know about you, but do you know anyone that's asked for this? Not that this is the holiday update, but I'm just...
if you count the people that spam and ask for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto...
I've been asking for that, and like I said last week's podcast...
It'll never come.
I hope you're wrong.
I don't.
Why? You don't want Android Auto on your car?
No, I do not. I feel like having a full integrated system like Tesla has is actually better in the long run.
Oh, you know what? I can see that too. Yeah, it probably is. Last week when I had my car in for a new back window, which I got it. Don't have orange anymore, folks. I'm very disappointed. Like I said, I got a BMW as a rental, and I drove it around for 2 or 3 days. and it had Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And you know what? I had Apple CarPlay in my Kia EV, the one before I had my Model 3, and that was good. It was the tethered one where you had to plug in your phone into it. Now this one is Bluetooth. And that's been 3 years since. They've come a long way. It's a nice interface, and they have a lot more apps that are supported in Apple CarPlay.
Because I think any Tesla shareholder should be cheering for Tesla to make an integrated system, especially if they're going to have a full self-driving system in place, because that means they can sell you media, games, apps through their own Tesla store, which means more profit, which means better value for the share, right? If they integrate CarPlay or Android Auto, they're giving up that market share. It doesn't make sense, especially if they're going to have a full self-driving car. Like, why not sell them their own media and take a cut from the media themselves to the end user, right? So that's my perspective as a shareholder.
It went right over my head, which many things do.
Yeah. Sorry.
No problem. I thought that was the end of that update. The main thing was that text thing, but there was a few other things. And I'm reading here the article. Once again, this article is brought to us by Drive Tesla Canada. Our friend Darren does a great job with these articles. Sentry mode improvements. That's something I didn't know. I'm reading this as you were talking. Maybe that's why it went over my head. But as you were talking, I was scrolling around and I saw this. This update only gets a small mention, but a welcome addition for when you need it. The car, if your car triggers a panic event, I guess when the alarm goes off itself, Sentry mode footage will be saved on board to the onboard memory. So it doesn't have to go to your USB drive. It stays on board, which is good. It's a good feature. In the event that something happens with that USB drive, or you don't have a USB drive, that's good to know. I guess I knew that there was onboard memory, but I didn't know that they allotted it to store stuff like that in that kind of fashion. So yeah, so now you can store it on the device, or it goes right onto onboard memory, that's good. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's
no, it's a really good security feature, because if someone breaks into your car, they can steal your USB, and then you don't actually get to see the Sentry mode footage of it, where now it's on the vehicle itself, right? We actually had a discussion about this today off air. Don't be shocked if Tesla starts offering like some sort of cloud backup service.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Yeah, everyone else is getting into services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if it's priced right, a lot of people will do it. It just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Let's see what they do with the FSD subscription service first, and how they handle that. And then we'll go from there. And you know what? You're right. That they get their feet warm with that, and they get accustomed to doing that. Then yeah.
Well, Green only also said on Twitter. I don't have the tweet up. He said that remote Sentry mode viewing is coming, so you'll be able to view Sentry mode remotely.
Yes, yeah. You know what? That should have been one of the. I'm glad you brought up. That should have been one of the topics, or one of the news articles. Yeah, that's exciting to know. And yeah, once that comes out, then all these companies that have these automated backing up and stuff like that, like Ring is, and Amazon is rumored to do next year or in the upcoming years. Yeah, all that's going to be obsolete.
See, here's the thing though with it. Elon's even said before in the past, it's way too much data to transfer like live video footage. So I already kind of saw on Twitter, people are expecting it to be like, oh my God, I can see my car live. It's not going to be like that.
No.
If I'm going to guess, and if you notice here in the words that Tesla used for the Sentry mode improvements, it's panic mode, where if your alarm is tripped, it will be able to send you like a 10, 15, 20-second clip from where it happened. So if you look on the Sentry mode viewer right now, there's like that little red dot. It's probably going to be 20, 30 seconds before and 20, 30 seconds after. And that's what you're going to be sent to your phone, only when it's actually tripped, not like, oh, let me go see what my car's up to.
Yeah, you can't live monitoring. Yeah.
Yeah. So just like if you're just hamper expectations on that, it's still really exciting, and it's still like a really useful feature. Like my alarm tripped one day, and I ran over to my car right away. Right, I left my work, and nothing happened. I don't even know how it tripped, truthfully. But if I could have seen, like, hey, it just tripped because something, another car driving by and it blew a horn or whatever it may be, false positive trip, I wouldn't have to go running out to my car, right?
Yeah.
So it would still be useful, but just probably a lot different than most people are thinking, based off the comments I've seen online.
My car. Oh, never mind. I don't want to jinx myself. I was gonna say something. And I thought to myself, the superstitious person that I am, I'm like, you know what, Dak, shut your mouth. Don't even say it. Yeah. So some of the other improvements too is tracks version 0.2.
Hold up before we go there.
Yeah.
Darren is saying it won't be limited to Sentry mode, can stream at any time.
Say again?
He's saying it won't be limited to Sentry mode, can stream at any time.
Oh.
Which I'll believe it when I see it. I really hope I'm wrong, but I don't know how that's going to work from a perspective of data in the car.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, Darren. Thanks for that tip.
Yeah.
I won't listen to anything Franklin says anymore. You're turning it off as I'm turning it off, and you're turning it on as I'm turning it on. Yeah, so that's good to know. There's also a feature there, too, for the S's and X's, unlatching the charging cable. Apparently, on the S's and X's, their charge port design is different than the S's and than the 3's and Y's, and they have a little button. So apparently, with this update, you can use this button now to unlock it if the cable doesn't, the little button on the cable doesn't work, or it says if it doesn't have a release button. But every cable I know has a release button, does it not? Maybe some older ones.
The release on ours is on the inside of the trunk.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. No. Just update is for just an update for the S's and X's. So yeah, it wouldn't even account. Yeah, that release in the trunk, that little piece of metal, that little cable, has a little triangular rubber, little grippy handle on the end of it to grip it. Yeah, mine broke off. Mine's been broken off for about a year now. Last year, one winter, I was locked out. The charge port wouldn't come out, and I was yanking on that so hard that the little rubber thing came right off the charge cable, or right off the metal aircraft cable wiring. So, anyways, some other improvements are navigation improvements, dynamic brake lights, which I'm really looking forward to those dynamic brake lights. That should be pretty cool. Some music improvements, getting back to the navigation improvements. Now, has these little inlays. Now, I don't know if you guys saw it probably about 5-10 years ago. I used to have was it Garmin? It wasn't Garmin. Navigon. I had this GPS system that had software on my phone, and it was one of the first GPS systems I saw that it would be showing you where you're going, and then if you are getting off an exit on a highway or freeway or something, it would put up a little square box in a little inlay and show you if it was like an intricate exit or you had to be in a specific lane. It would show, and then all the other GPSs started getting it after a while too. So I guess the navigation on our car has never had it. So now this is one of the things that are in the improved navigation that's coming. So that should be pretty cool.
Yeah, I really dislike Tesla because they keep adding new stuff that I want, and I'm never happy with the version I'm on.
Did you never what? Sorry, say again.
They keep adding really cool stuff, and I'm never happy with the version I'm on.
I know, just exactly. I know you're being facetious, but it's one of the things where just as you're happy with the release you're on, then comes another one. So yeah, I mean, we're spoiled that way. But this is getting back to us being spoiled, right? As Tesla people. And once again, I'm not calling people names. I'm not name calling. This is something I even accuse myself of being. Yeah, like I'm so spoiled. I had to go drop off some stuff to some friends today around the city, and it was like mid-morning, and it was snowing really, really heavy. Oh, by the way, Franklin, I ended up going after I spoke to you, but I didn't want to bother you. I didn't want to get you out of bed.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. And it was snowing so heavy, and I was on autopilot, and then of course, you get the big red steering wheel in hand saying take over immediately. And of course, the radar in the front was all covered in snow, so the radar was blinded. And I had to get out 2 or 3 times to clear off, because as I'm driving down the road I couldn't even put on cruise control. I couldn't put anything on. So I'm driving down the road and I'm like, this is so hard to maintain a speed. Like with my accelerator pedal, I'm thinking to myself, Dax, you're such a spoiled fool. Like, for one, you've got to steer the car, and that's like, savage in itself. And now you've got to maintain a speed. Like, I don't know. The guy behind me every time I kept slowing down and everything, must have thought I was drunk, and I wasn't this time. But it's just so like you get so accustomed to something.
Hey, we had another comment from Darren saying the nav improvements are for China only.
Oh, damn it, Darren. I need to read your articles better.
However, I'm going to say this. Spotify was for Europe only for the longest of time. It only took 5 years. So, I mean, the code's there. It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't quote me like that. I'm just saying it's possible. Right?
What's your saying again that I learned when we went on a trip? Believe
to achieve.
Believe to achieve. I like that. I don't know why. I find that catchy.
Yeah, I'm filled with a lot of cliches.
You're filled with a lot of something, all right. Anyways, moving right along. So that's news. There was other small little things here and there, folks, but that is the news I thought was newsworthy this week. If you have any things that you thought you want to talk about in the news and you're watching, comment down below and we can talk about it. But if not, we've got some. And also if you have any questions, jot your question down below and we'll answer it as soon as we can.
I got something newsworthy.
Yeah, you got something. Okay, tell me what's your newsworthy thing.
Do you know what month it is?
It's not Techtober. It's not I forget what the November one is. It's December.
This was maybe next month.
January.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Did I ruin your joke?
Well, he also said that the FSD beta would be coming to Canada. He said maybe next month.
Yeah.
So this was maybe next month.
Yeah. Okay, I get where you're going here. Yeah. Next month is now. Yes. Buddy, two things I'm looking forward to. And I know who's kidding who. I'm not going to get the beta, but I just wanted to. No, you have a better chance than most anyone else, buddy, with the campaign you've been. What day are we on, by the way, in your campaign?
40 something. I don't remember.
Oh,
I posted it this morning.
I put you on the spot. Sorry for doing that. So yeah, no, you have a better chance than I think than anyone else. Sorry.
44.
44. But so
I had Earl tweet Elon. Joanna tweeted Elon for me to get it. Raj, I'm making waves here.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah. Making
waves or making enemies. I don't know. But either way, like I said, I'm excited just for the fact that it'll come to Canada and then we can start testing. Like today with the little mini snowstorm getting back to that when I was talking about that, I thought to myself, this would have been great for FSD to see how it was handling because we had some slushy areas. We had clear tire tracks. You couldn't see the road markings because there was slush covering it, but you could see clear because it was like a wet, slushy snow. So you could see the tire tracks where you could follow. So I was curious how FSD would handle stuff like that. If it would go into the tracks because it was one of those thick, slushy, wet, heavy snow things that if you're driving and your wheel gets caught in that, it sort of pulls the car into it automatically. Anyone that lives in a southern state that doesn't have snow and is listening to this, you're wondering what the hell is he talking about? But yeah, this is what happens. So I'm excited for that, the FSD beta, and I'm excited for the holiday update, which is something I'm assuming we're all going to get. I mean, nobody should be left out on that. Now, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last year holiday update, did it drop all together, or was it the US and then us a month later?
The holiday update last year was Beach Buggy Racing? No, that was a couple months before. Never mind. I did a video on this too. No, the Beach Buggy Racing was part of it because they had people go out to the showrooms to sit in the cars and try out the arcade for the winter experience or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it definitely was. I don't remember. I just did a video on this like 2 weeks ago as well, a week and a half ago. Like, hey, this is what they did last year. So you think I have a better memory of it, but yeah. So they did that FSD visualization last year when we got the streetlights, stop signs. That was on there. We got tracks for the first time. That was on there.
The useless tracks. Yeah. No. I'm not really talking about really what we got, but I'm just wondering if we all got it at once, or was Canada delayed from the US?
We got it all together.
Okay,
more
good.
or less. Yeah.
Good. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a holiday update if we get in January, would it?
It's still technically the holidays.
Yeah, I guess for Chinese and Ukrainian Orthodox. Yeah, I guess for different religions and cultures.
Yeah, holidays still from January.
Yeah, true. Holidays, right? I mean, yeah.
So,
your life is a holiday.
you have a Tesla story for us this week?
No, you go first. I think I just told you my story. I don't have many because I didn't drive much, but you tell me your story.
Sure. I'm going to take you through my Twitter experience today. Okay.
I'm gonna make this story like immersive by putting you full screen. How about that?
No, I'm going to be sharing my screen.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I started off the day with this beautiful picture here. Day 44 since FSD beta not in Canada. When you really want to order FSD beta Canada, but the drive-through is taking too long. And you can see here we got a really nice photo.
Oh my God! Why don't you go full screen? This is your pictures?
No, well.
No, you didn't get out of bed, so it couldn't have been yours.
So it's a photo I found, obviously, and I didn't have to edit this one. Like,
no, you didn't.
if you follow the campaign, I do daily posts. So every day I do something, and they're usually pretty funny, or at least try to make them funny. And I'll edit like 99% of them, but this one, no editing required. I thought that was pretty good.
Speaks for itself.
Right? And then that was this morning. And then Darren, our buddy Darren, Drive Fest of Canada, he made the mistake of asking if you can customize and have any 3 quick access controls here, what would you pick? So what's your thoughts, Dax? What would you pick?
Sorry, let me enhance this. If you can customize any which one would I customize?
Yeah, what 3 quick access controls would you put here?
Oh, I'd have to think about it, buddy. You don't put me on a spot like this. I like the backup because I was using it all day today. The charge, I don't think should be a quick access. I would think maybe more, the wiper's on the stock, and the wiper's right below that too. I don't know. I'd have to think about it, buddy. I can't think of anything.
So
what were you thinking?
I thought about it pretty quick. For me, it was pretty easy.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Enable. Yes.
All right. So there was that.
Oh, Darren. Then, poor Darren.
I don't want to make Darren feel personally attacked here. So this happened, me plus a note. So she shared this note. Yes, you. We're going to be all right, homie. And it just so happens, 6:47, you see this, right? When she wrote her note, it just so happens I wrote the same exact note at the same time, right?
Franklin.
And the journey does not end there, Dax. There's people on Twitter acquiring minds that want to have my humor and joy. So we have Mark here, and he's in a new town, a shut down. He got this. It looks pretty good, right? Like you can kind of see it.
A donut or some sort?
It's an apple pie, I believe.
Oh.
But if you zoom in, you can actually see something. Do you see it on this picture? Do you see it?
Is there an FSD Canada thing somewhere?
No, like here, I zoomed in somewhere here. Here's my zoomed in version.
Oh, you know what? You have a lot of time on your hands, mister.
Dax, I know you're thinking that, but I'll show you like 2 more. Okay. So we have our buddy Jeremy.
There's more?
He got eye drops, and he said reading these prescription bottles are like a full-time job. And at least his tells him an end date, right? It says daily for 5 days and then stop. Where mine says daily until FSD Beta Canada happens.
So basically, you took all these good ideas that are probably like you could have used for like all the rest of the week, and you did it all into one?
No, I just like messing around with people. How about this one? He shared a new profile picture. This one's nice, right?
Mandalorian, yeah.
Him and his nice dog.
I apologize for everyone that's listening. Please stick with us for a couple more minutes. We're going to get back to more of an audible friendly podcast.
Oh, my bad. I forgot about them. But his dog has a nice collar.
Nice.
So, right? And I swear it's the last one, okay? You know how before we came on the podcast, I told Dax, give me a few minutes. I'm just trolling people on Twitter. So Tesla owner Silicon Valley, if you don't know them, excellent club, all jokes aside, fantastic club. John runs it. They have a new shop with merchandise, and I actually do recommend people to go buy it because that club actually does so much good for the community as a whole. So definitely go and purchase something if you're inclined to, because it will help them. They actually released something really cool. They really outdid themselves with this new swag. So,
did they really? No, you almost had me, Jesus Christ. You almost had me, and I almost fell for it.
So, I've been on the ball today, and thank you, Darren. Editing skills top notch. I agree. I try.
I agree. He says, conceded much. Oh, okay.
So that's been my Tesla story of the day. That's like the progression I've had throughout the day of advertising FSD Beta Canada. So,
Franklin, thank you very much for bringing us down your memory lane, your short-term memory lane of your day's events. Thank you very much. I think I speak on behalf of everyone where I say I felt like I was actually there and I experienced your whole entire day with you.
I feel like you're never going to have an end segment of, hey, what did you do this week on your test?
Yeah, I will never ask you that question again. No, I will ask you, but it'll be like, what did you physically do? I don't want to hear any online stuff.
That was awesome. I think it was great. LOL, too much time on your hands. Hey, but did you have a good laugh?
Yeah.
That's important.
Rich is thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, yeah, it was funny. It was good. No, I'm glad. I'm glad you're doing it, buddy, because you're keeping yourself occupied. And if you weren't doing that, who knows what you'd be doing? You young hooligan with the time on your hands. You may be breaking into cars or stealing
something
things.
Useful.
Yeah, something illegal.
Or useful.
Or useful. Yeah, yeah, or something. Yeah, productive towards society. Yeah.
There's all jokes aside, I will be dropping a new game in the next week. It will be coming out for iOS and Android, completely based off of Elon Musk, SpaceX, Tesla, Boring Company, and Neuralink. So it's all about all of that in one package game. And we'll see. Hopefully it does well, and hopefully I don't get a cease and desist.
He's put a lot of time and effort into this game, guys. It's not paid. I'm not paying him anything. I never will pay him anything. But no, when he drops this game, it's I haven't, and you know what? I haven't seen it. I'll be the first to say I haven't seen it. Just from what he's told me about it, sounds very, very interesting. Sounds very addictive, and it should be pretty cool. And it's going to be free, right?
Completely 100% free. There's ads in it, but the ads aren't actually on the gameplay. It's a joke. The ads are a joke.
Yeah, you'll see when you see it.
Yeah, if you know me, I have a really good sense of humor. So that even the ads, the way I integrated ads, is a complete joke based off how games run nowadays.
Yeah.
So there's literally like 100+ things about Elon Musk in it, and it took a lot of time to research and get it all compiled together. And balancing games is extremely hard. I've never done it before, and I've actually struggled a lot with the math over the last few weeks, trying to get it all balanced properly. So.
Took you a lot of time, which is good because you got a lot of time on your hands. Okay, moving on to we got 4 or 5 quick questions. Hopefully these should be really quick. We should be able to bang them out pretty quickly, buddy. Don't you think? I don't want my ugly mug on there. So Glenn Clark asked, well, first of all, he says hi, and then he moves on to say, what does the start, quote unquote, start button do on my app? It seems to count down from 2 minutes down to 0 and then stops. Can you answer what it does, Franklin?
What does it mean by start?
No, okay. When you open up your app and you go into, I believe it is controls. I'm looking at my app. I'm not trying to be.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay,
yeah.
So start. So that allows.
Yeah.
Say I'm not near my. Say I'm at Dax's house, and he's. I don't know.
Making sure my address isn't showing up here. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm at Dax's house, and he's in. I don't know, California in the factory. He wants me to drive his car. He can hit start, and I have 2 minutes to get in his car to start driving it. So the start gives the person who wants to drive it a full 2 minutes to be able to take the car and remotely drive.
No key, no phone.
No key. No. So it's just like a 2 minute, hey, get in your car and drive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, it's awesome. I've used it a number of times where like my car is blocking a driver or something, and I'll start the car for someone just to move it because I'm far away and they don't have a key. So it is really useful.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Can you see it there? I don't know if it showed up there. Yeah.
Can we buy Tesla wall connector from vehicle pickup location, Oakville, Ontario, at time of delivery, or is it recommended to purchase online from Tesla store before delivery date? You probably want to order online before delivery date because their stock is all over the map and you don't know if you're going to get one. And if you order online beforehand, there's a high possibility you'll have it in time. And
Tesla has a pretty good shipping speed too. They're pretty good for shipping.
At least here I can tell you from the Toronto experience, ours all comes from Lawrence, and it is pretty fast. So you'll get it relatively quick.
Do they come from Lawrence, really? Is that where the delivery hub is?
Well, okay, so I don't know, because it's all built from Lawrence, so I'm guessing it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't even know if the service centers would have a wall connector like that, or even, and they may. I've just never thought of it. That's why I thought this question was interesting. I never even thought of checking out the store to get it. I'm sure, now thinking about it, it's very well likely they could have stock, probably limited. I know they have parts. I went to order a part for a backseat of my car about a month ago, and I thought going in there with the part number and a picture of the part and everything, I thought I was going to have to just order it and then probably go pick it up a later time. The guy was like, yeah, hold on a second. I'll be back. I'll go see if we have any in the back. And I thought, for sure they don't have any in the back. I'm like thinking he doesn't know this is like a little tiny part. He comes back 2 minutes later and he actually had the part. So
on the plus side, if you do not get it in time, do not panic. Do not worry. You have that, the one you can actually just plug into your wall, which you're not going to get like crazy fast speeds, but some charge is better than no charge, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, that question was from I'm gonna butcher it. I shouldn't have even tried to get his name. Mr. Chima. Let's just say that. Next question is from Rishi.
If I charge my car twice a week, but charge it to 100%, is that bad for the battery?
Absolutely.
The Tesla recommends 90 at the max, 10 at the low end. For the longest time, they said 80-20. Truthfully, if you can keep your car plugged in all the time to 90%, that is the best. It's actually in the manual to constantly keep your car plugged in.
Yeah.
Anytime you charge your car up to 100, it's not great for the battery, but here's my perspective, okay? Your car is meant to be driven and used. Your battery might deteriorate a little quicker. You might lose a little bit of range a little bit faster, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be like a massive noticeable difference. It'll be there, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh, my car's garbage now in 2 years because I've done this type of charging, right? So if you're going to keep your car for 7, 8, 9 years, 10 years, I think it'll be fine. I can't see it have a massive effect on the battery, but don't quote me, I'm not a chemist.
No, and you know what? Before last week, I would say I was joking, half joking when I said no, and the answer is yes and no to answer your question. But I don't know if you remember on last week's podcast, we were talking about battery longevity and degradation and stuff like that. And Kim Java, she and her husband put out a video talking about that. And after watching that video, which gave a lot of good tips and stuff like that. I suggest anyone go watch that video if you're curious, if you're new to a Tesla and stuff like that, or you don't have one yet, or even if you've had one for a while and you're still curious about your battery pack and the battery management system, go watch that video. It explains a lot. But what they talk about in a nutshell, they talk about how going up to 100 or going down to 0 isn't going to harm your battery, because what I think at the end of the day, Tesla has a buffer put in on the top and the bottom of the battery pack, so you can't harm your battery. When it says 0, you're really not at 0. When it says 100, I don't really think you're fully at 100. Is it a good idea to do it constantly, like he's saying here, twice a week? Maybe not. I mean, why take a chance? If you have to, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it. But if you can avoid doing it and you can go to, like Franklin said, go to 90%, unless you need that extra 10% absolutely twice a week, then go ahead and do it. And if that's the case, you may want to look at another car that is that has a longer range. Like, I'm assuming this person, and I'm only assuming, I don't know, I'm assuming Rishi's probably got a standard range. That's probably why he requires or needs to go to 100%, but I could be wrong. Who knows? But so to answer your question, no, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And after last week's video, I don't worry about the battery too much, because I think at the end of the day, Tesla bulletproofs that pack. But at the same time, just the OCD in me and the habit forming, I would say no. Plus, I think the car will give you an answer, give you a message. If you do it too much, it'll tell you right on the screen. I know the S's and X's were like that. I don't know about the 3s, but I'm pretty sure it'll come up and tell you, like, you're charging it too much.
I think we'll run the topic of battery charging in winter. I've seen people ask online, like, how much range are you expected to lose? And realistically, you're going to lose 30% on the high end under bad conditions. I've seen people put out numbers like 50%, 60%. It's BS. If you actually use real like data to analyze range loss, 35% is high. Ian Pavelko actually did a really good post on Twitter breaking it down in one of these discussions, and he's driven in some crazy bad climates, right?
Yeah, he's out there in Quebec.
Yeah, and he's like 38% was his max, and he shared a picture where his car was completely covered in, like, you didn't know there was a car there. It was just like a mountain of snow in his driveway, and there's a car underneath, and you can kind of see the windshield or whatever.
Welcome to Quebec.
Yeah, so if you're worried that you want to charge your car up to 100% because of range loss, and you're reading online like, oh my God, I'm going to lose 50%, honestly, kind of give it a try and see real world data rather than skewed data that people are sharing out without good data point perspective, right?
And assumptions. Yeah. Now, what's key to that is, once again, I sound like a broken record, so we probably mentioned it at least twice already this episode, is preheating. Preheat your car, guys. It's not only preheating the interior of your car for your comfort, but it's also putting energy and heat back into that pack. It's preheating the battery pack. And it's working the battery pack to warm itself up. So preheat your car too. That goes a long way. Moving on to the next question by Harmon. Harmon?
Anyone know the wiper size? Check the manual and nothing on size. Maybe you can check the new manual that's out now.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, if he's talking about a Model 3, ask me how I know it, but he's talking about a Model 3, and the wiper size for a Model 3 is 19 inches and 26 inches. They're offset, obviously. No car has the same size wiper anymore these days. So 19 and 26. So those, okay. That's your answer.
Way to ruin my joke, but okay.
It's all right.
Questions? Let's continue.
Yeah. I think we got one more last one. Okay. It's a nice long one from Randy.
I'm struggling to decide if I should get white seats. I don't want to go back to black because I find the interior already a bit bland. White spices it up, but how dirty do they get? Does it stain? Or is it easy to wipe off and clean? Hoping that Tesla offers other colors soon, like red, gray, tan, similar to Porsche and BMW. Thanks, Randy. You cut off the Randy part at the bottom.
Yeah, well, he didn't say Randy, but anyways, we know it's Randy. But before I answer your question, Randy, I'm going to tell you, no, I hope Tesla never gets red or tan. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just gaudy colors. And that, I don't take offense if you're into those colors. Please don't take offense. It's just my personal opinion. Gray, I mean, we already have gray, unless he means like a light gray. Tan, the S's and X's, do they still? No, they dropped it, right? They had it at one point, and they dropped it to make it more simple production. But tan was a nice color. Yeah, nothing wrong with tan. But no, not red. Please no red. We don't drive a Maserati or, like you said, a Porsche. Well, what do you think about black or white?
I think the two colors that they have right now is fine. And I was actually just looking right now. You're looking at 4-week delivery for the Model 3 currently, and I can tell you the why in a second. And the reason why I'm saying that is they already have a backlog on the two colors that they have, and that's what's simplifying the ordering process. And they have a backlog at any given time of the year that you go to order. So if they start adding in additional colors, you're looking at even more. It's Model Y's 4 weeks as well. So you're looking at 4-week backlog. You're looking at a month right now, which is actually on the low end because I've seen it as high as like 10, 12 weeks. And that's with two colors. So if they start adding in red, tan, blue, yellow, green, whatever, that's going to add more complexity to their ordering process and in turn make the orders filled slower, which is already like 4 weeks is a long time, right?
Yeah, they're not about to do that. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to do that.
No. And to answer the first part of the question, white seats, the white seats that Tesla have are actually extremely easy to clean. I don't actually have them. I wish they had it as an option when I ordered my car, but they didn't.
Would you have gotten white? Yeah.
Yeah, I would have went with white, white interior, red exterior, performance.
Now let me ask you, for your Cybertruck, if they offer white, will you get white?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd have to see what it looks like. And now that my kids have had some experience with white seats, I think I put the fear of God into them enough. So yeah, maybe I might be able to go with white.
So talk to a lot of people that have white seats in Teslas, and they all say the same thing. They're like, we're so worried, but you just get a cloth to wipe across, and poof, it's like brand new.
You have to keep up with the maintenance on white. You can't let it slack.
I don't know what it's kind of like the roof. I think the roof that Tesla uses, their sunroof, or not sunroof, but their big glass on the top, there's some sort of chemical on it that's like kind of magical for blocking sun. I feel like their cloth, they're not cloth, but their seats are the same. They do a really good job at it, like super easy to clean. Right?
It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's magic. Yeah, no. What I was gonna say, was it Randy? I took the thing down.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It was, yeah.
Randy, what you could try, and I suggest this. I don't recommend it if you have kids and family and stuff like that. But if you don't, spray paint the crap out of no, I'm just kidding. No, seat covers. Try seat covers. Now, like I said, I had a few videos a couple months ago where I've got white seat covers, and for the price, it's a fraction of the cost of $1,300 upgrade, and they're not permanent. Like I was talking to one of my friends today, he was checking out the seat covers, and he said, "Oh, they look good," and stuff like that. And the way I look at it is, if they get damaged from the kids, or I don't like it after I get bored with it or stuff like that, I can take it, just zip a couple fasteners, and within like 5 minutes, I can take it off and back to my original seats underneath, which are also being protected at the same time too, right? So seat covers, if you don't care about the seat belts, I had some issues with the back seat belts and stuff like that, and you don't care about it not looking fully stock, then try some seat covers.
The Canadian drone pilot said in the comments, is 3 Cocker Spaniels, so he'd rather get black seats.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the other thing. If you've got pets and that are commonly in the back seat or in the car, then yeah.
Well, honestly, though, the white ones might be a little better because then it's easier to figure out where they step to clean. Where the black, it blends in more.
Well, that's the other thing. I remember saying that to another friend. I said, having dark seats or having a color that you can't see or that hides the dirt, you'd be surprised when you do clean your seats. If you clean it with like a white cloth and you scrub it really good, you'd be surprised the amount of dirt that comes out of there, but you just don't see it because you don't see it, right?
So yeah. So maybe red seats are the way to go.
I love the look. And like I said, for day one, just like you, they didn't offer it, but even if they did offer it, I really wanted to get it, but I don't know if I would have. Like when I first told my wife I wanted to get white seats, she looked at me like I had 3 heads. She's like, "Are you nuts?" Because she knows the kids I have, right? But that aside, the kids are good.
I feel like the time we get offered the Cybertruck, we're going to be in the same situation where we're not going to get much customization and choice unless we wait. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, and you know how we're going to do that, and we're not going to wait. Okay. No. Well, let's wrap this up. I think this may be one of the quickest episodes we've ever done. We're approaching an hour and 15 minutes. So, folks, thanks very much for. Do you have anything to say before we sign off here, Franklin?
Make sure to check out Tesla Talks on Twitter. Check out his Facebook pages, the Canadian model owners, something or other page.
You know, I could butcher just as easily as you.
I don't use Facebook. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. No, Franklin's. If you don't know, it's an inside joke. He knows that I don't like to plug myself, my channel, and my groups and stuff like that a lot, if at all. So he does it for me, thinking that I'm not going to do it. But the funny thing is, tonight I was actually going to say, the Canadian Model 3 group and Canadian Model Y group on Facebook. If you're not a subscriber or a member, join. Just do me a favor when you click join and you have to answer the questions, because if you don't answer the questions, my mods and myself, I've told my mods to do this, you're going to get denied. Or if you know anyone that wants to join, tell them to answer the questions. It's very simple. It's a little test that if you can't go follow these simple instructions to get into the group, we figure you probably not going to do good in the group. So answer the questions is all I ask. And then, of course, small little YouTube channel, as you're watching right now, called Tesla Talks. And Twitter. I'm randomly on Twitter now and then. Where can people find you, Franklin?
They can find me on YouTube at Mother Frunker. They can find me on Twitter at mfrunker. I'm there every so often. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. Don't use it too much here and there.
Why do you even bother?
I have no idea. But mostly YouTube and sometimes Twitter, occasionally.
Yep. Any videos coming up?
Yeah, I have a few. A few stuff. I'm working on a Cybertruck one. Working on one about wraps in winter, which I'm kind of excited to do, like professional wrap versus do-it-yourself wrap and how it holds up during winter time. So just a couple of stuff, voice commands, because I want to do an updated video from last year.
Yep.
We have 3 times the amount of voice commands than we did this time last year.
Yeah, I noticed these things don't get updates or mentioned in the updates, but yeah, voice command has been one of them. A friend of mine here in Ontario found some interesting voice commands. I want to do a video about it, and I still may. It's very adult, very over 18. So I'll have to, if I do it, you'll see it. It's very, very funny, but in an adult way.
You're going to?
I may do a video for those, just those, not what you're doing with the updated voice commands. I don't have the time or energy and devotion to, like you do, to put in the hundreds of voice commands, but just these peculiar, very funny X-rated ones. I will. You know what? I call them adult or over 18, but they're basically X-rated.
So just to give you an idea, that last year in December there was 88 voice commands. This year I'm tracked over 230.
Yeah, why don't they need to announce that more? I'm surprised they don't.
Yeah, and I've been kind of maintaining a list all year round from all the new stuff that people have found. I did not find the ones that Ryan found, but I'm also not talking to my car like that.
No, it's very crude. Okay, well, I don't want to tease you guys or anything like that, or clickbait you.
Subscribe to Dax's channel for this potential video.
Yeah. I'm thinking of doing I did one last year, but it seems like every year I got to do one, and it's probably a few weeks too late. But upcoming, I want to do a winter video, like top tips of things to get you ready for winter, the must-haves and stuff like that. I've been planning to do it for a while, but once again, procrastination has got the best of me, and it may be a few weeks too late, but that's going to be coming soon, hopefully.
Tip number 1, preheat your car. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks again, folks. Yeah, like I said, join us here. Oh, you know what? We won't be here, unfortunately, next week. I apologize for that. Next week, my schedule is really, really busy. I'm going to be all over the place. But catch us here in 2 weeks from now.
We'll be here next week. Goodbye.
We'll be here in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a good night. Have a good